Hey everyone, I'm dropping in with a quick reaction to the brand new and currently only announced for PC, but likely coming out to PS5 and Xbox, the Gundam Overwatch clone Gundam Evolution. So this is a first-person shooter multiplayer game, which everyone is saying is a blatant copy of Overwatch, although it's using the Unreal Engine, which makes me think of this really old Gundam Unreal Tournament mod that I used to follow in the 90s, and I think it never got released because of lawsuits. Anyway, I'm just going to be real here and say, so far, I'm not super impressed with what I'm seeing in this first trailer, because if I'm being real, I'm not seeing anything I haven't seen before here. Like, there have been first-person Gundam games, there have been Overwatch clones before. Also, the unit lineup for this game is very underwhelming. I don't know, it seems unorganized, and it's not like, here's the best things like in the Gundam Versus series. It's not like, here's a bunch of one-year war units so you can like role-play. It just seems like a random mishmash of like random popular Gundams for no reason. And random unpopular ones too. Like the trailer has this like partial suit lineup, and the suit lineup is really out of nowhere. Like they start off with the obvious original Gundam, which yeah, that's in like, you gotta have that. But then they go to like the Ashamar, which is cool, but I didn't think it was that popular. Then they bring out the GM Sniper 2, which, okay, yeah, it's a multiplayer shooter game. That usually gets the GM Sniper 2 default pass in. But then after that, the Dom Trooper? Excuse me, Trooper, not Troppin? That is the most unpopular Dom variant in history, and it's the most absolutely ass-backwards pick they could pick for the only Cosmic Era suit in the game. Like, what the hell's up with that? Then after that, we have the Sazabi, which, yeah, completely classic, but it seems random in this lineup because it's the only CCA suit. Then the Barbatos, which is a very good and popular melee choice, but it does feel out of place with this mostly UC-inspired lineup. And those are the units they announced in the trailer, but if you freeze frame the trailer at literally any point in the video, you can see in the background that the game also features the Gun Tank, which is a classic slow long-range shooter, the Zaku 2, because that's a classic, the original GM, another classic choice, and the Methus, of all things, which I guess is going to serve its role as a cheap healer. Lastly, the most interesting thing you can see in the screenshots is the Turn-A Gundam is there, likely acting as a melee tank. And since they announced the Sazabi, I would put good money that the new Gundam is hidden inside this game, because you gotta have that Sazabi new Gundam matchup at some point. Now, in terms of first-person shooter multiplayer party games running on the Unreal Engine, it's actually not the only one coming out this year, which is another reason I'm not that stoked about this game, because I was already super hyped up for Gundam Senjo no Kizuna 2, which is coming out this year, and while being a Japan arcade-only release, I am extremely psyched up for this way more than Gundam Evolution, because it sticks with a strictly one-year war setting. It's a relatively Team Fortress-inspired gameplay, and the previously announced trailer said there would be heavy MS customization, plus it's a sequel to an already well-refined arcade classic, so it should have some very polished gameplay. And you can see just from the trailer alone that the backgrounds and the details in this game seem way more on point and interesting. Now, for those of you who don't know about it, Gundam Senjo no Kizuna is the Gundam arcade game in Japan. It has this long history, and it was the first Gundam arcade game ever to be created to be played inside a 360-degree all-range cockpit, just like the fucking ones from the mobile suits inside of Zeta Gundam. So that gives you the most awesome arcade experience you can ever have. I went to Japan just to try this. It was $5 a game, but completely worth it. It's the most realistic Gundam game you're ever going to play that makes you feel like you're actually there doing the thing. Now, if you are very lucky, you might have even seen one of these pod capsules in the United States, because a few of the old ones did get brought over here to run a very basic Star Wars game. Anyway, so yeah, Senjo no Kizuna is set in the one-year war 08 MS team period, and it's designed for ideally 4-on-4 or possibly 8-on-8 battles, where the MS chosen by the players on the team basically determine who's going to win or lose kind of instantly. I mean, skill is a factor, but it's really a rock, paper, scissors thing where if one team has more rocks and the other team has more papers, the winner's obvious. Anyway, I am also suspicious that one, if not both of these games, will hopefully get a PS4/PS5 PSVR release, which is what I really, really want for one of these games. If one of these games comes out on PSVR, I will get it. Because Bandai has said they are working on a Gundam PSVR game, and chances are really good that one of these two games is actually it. Though, if I'm going to be honest, I'll say that I've had my fill of online multiplayer Gundam party games with like GBO on the PS3 and PS4. So really, the only way they can freshen it up and get me back in there is if they add in that sweet taste of VR. Especially with Gundam Senju no Kizuna 2, which if you look at it closely, it looks like it's pretty much built for VR. I mean, it's built for the 360 cockpit, but that's really just like a VR system that doesn't fit on your head, it fits on your whole body. Like, it's turned away from the gorgeous 360-degree cockpit in the first game to a cheaper 3-screen setup, and that does look exactly like the view screen viewer in the PSVR. So anyway, that's all I have to say about these two games. Currently not thrilled about Gundam Evolution. Currently way more thrilled about Senju no Kizuna, but Senju no Kizuna might not get a home release. So if either of these games get a home release and they can work with VR, I'll pick one of them up. But in the meantime, Evolution, you need to try harder, and Senju no Kizuna, you need to be on PSVR. Alright, that's all for me. Subscribe, later.